Continuation 10. This is confirmed in the Srimad Bhagavatam 5:4-13 as follows. Translation. In addition to these 19 sons mentioned above, there were 81 younger ones, all born of Rishabdev and Jayanti. According to the order of their father, they became well-cultured, well-behaved, very pure in their activities, and expert in Vedic knowledge, and the performance of Vedic rituals. Thus, they all became perfectly qualified Brahmins. End translation. Nabhaga and the son of Dishta, although Vaishyas, both became Brahmins. End translation. According to their individual natures, among the sons of Gritsamada, there were Brahmins, headed by Shaunaka, as well as Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Sudras. This is stated in the following words from the Harivamsa, Harivamsa Parva 29, 7-8. In his commentary on this verse, Nilakanta says, translation, among the offspring of Gritsamada, some, headed by Shunaka, were Brahmins, some were Kshatriyas, some were Vaishyas, and some were Sudras. End translation. Apart from his 5 Kshatriya sons, Bali Maharaj also had sons who founded Brahmin dynasties. This is explained in the Harivamsa, Harivamsa Parva 31, 33-35 as follows. Translation. Bali Maharaj was a great yogi who became a king long ago. He begot 5 sons in order to increase the population of the earth. The first of his 5 sons was named Anga, the second was Vanga, the third Shuma, the fourth Pundra, and the 5th was Kalinga. These sons were known as Balaya Kshatriyas. In the dynasty of Bali, there were also Balaya Brahmins, who increased their descendants on the earth. End translation. The sons of the great sage Kasyapa were divided into various varnas according to their nature. One can find ample evidence of this in the historical scriptures. It is not a fact that only one born in the family of a Brahmin is a Brahmin, and those qualified as Brahmins by initiation and behavior are not Brahmins. This has been adequately confirmed by the above-quoted evidence. Even if the truth remains covered due to insufficient study of the Shastras and intense selfishness, it will certainly become apparent in the course of time. In this age of Kali, there is often no respect for the truth among persons who are blinded by selfishness. Rather, disqualified persons are rewarded. Anyway, if after seeing all this evidence, someone's selfishness is even slightly reduced, it will yield some kind of auspicious result in the world. By its own concocted arguments, an unqualified community can never put real obstacles on the path of qualified Brahmins. The Brahma Sutras 1.3.28 statement, translation, therefore it is also eternal, end translation, has been explained as proving that the statements of the Vedas are eternal, and the disciplic succession of Brahmins who represent the demigods is also eternal. Although Brahmins are visible demigods, they are nevertheless eternal servants of Lord Vishnu. The Brahmins' eternal source of knowledge is the Vedas. By studying the Vedas, they realize that they are eternal and become situated in the eternal devotional service of the Lord. Many persons become Brahmin even though they were not born in families of Brahmins, engaged in studying the Vedas. In order to confirm this statement, SRILA Jayatirthapad, in the 6th generation from Srimad Anantatirtha Madhvacharya, has cited Vrishchika Tandulinaya, the logic of, quote, the scorpion and the rice, unquote, in his Shruta Prakashika commentary as follows. When the seed of one scorpion is placed in the womb of another scorpion, a scorpion is born. This is the general law of nature. Yet sometimes it is seen that scorpions or other insects are born from rice, although in this case the placement of the seed is not seen. The inconceivable potency of the absolute truth, which makes the impossible possible, brings about the scorpion's appearance. Great sages like Vasishtha, Agastya, Rishyashringa, and Vyasadeva were not Brahmins by ordinary standards. Later, however, their descendants, being fully conversant with transcendental knowledge, became recognized as self-realized Brahmin Vaishnavas. The various scriptural references describing the qualification of Brahmins and showing respect for the Brahmins refer to both seminal Brahmins and those who have become Brahmins by initiation. These references from scriptures on karma, jnana, and bhakti do not refer only to seminal Brahmins. In no case are Brahmins by initiation disregarded, although in the opinion of some scriptures there is no possibility of becoming an initiated Brahmin unless one is a seminal Brahmin. This restriction was imposed only because of narrow-minded social traditions. When this narrow-mindedness is given up by deep research and high education, then the entire world will be illuminated by the glories of the eternal Aryan culture. Then we will understand how futile is the attempt of frogs to fill the universe with the sound of their croaking. Harijana Kanda, section concerning the devotees of Hari. We have already discussed the conceptions of worldly people in the previous chapter. In this present chapter, we will discuss the devotees of Lord Hari. In ancient times, the Harijanas and the Prakriti-janas had a debate over Ajamil. Due to their nature, Prakriti-janas tend to consider the Harijanas to be similar to themselves. In this incident, the Prakriti-janas finally understood from their master that the Harijanas are not subjected to the fruits of karma. We are herein quoting some essential points from this narration of Srimad Bhagavatam 6:3, 25-28, by which we can realize the difference between the Prakriti-janas and the Harijanas. Translation. Because they are bewildered by the illusory energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Yajnavalkya and Jaimini and other compilers of the religious scriptures cannot know the secret, confidential religious system of the 12 Mahajans, or Harijans. They cannot understand the transcendental value of performing devotional service or chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. Because their minds are attracted to the ritualistic ceremonies mentioned in the Vedas, especially the Yajurveda, Samaveda, and Rigveda, their intelligence has become dull. Thus, they are busy collecting the ingredients for ritualistic ceremonies that yield only temporary benefits, such as elevation to Svargaloka for material happiness. They are not attracted to the Sankirtan movement. Instead, they are interested in Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. Considering all these points, therefore, intelligent men decide to solve all problems by adopting the devotional service of chanting the holy name of the Lord, who is situated in everyone's heart and who is a mine of all auspicious qualities. Such persons are not within my jurisdiction for punishment. Generally, they never commit sinful activities, but even if by mistake or because of bewilderment or illusion, they sometimes commit sinful acts, they are protected from sinful reactions because they always chant the Hare Krishna mantra. My dear servants, please do not approach such devotees, for they have fully surrendered to the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They are equal to everyone, and their narrations are sung by the demigods and the inhabitants of Siddhaloka. Please do not even go near them. They are always protected by the club of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore Lord Brahma and I, and even the time factor, are not competent to chastise them. Paramahamsas are exalted persons who have no taste for material enjoyment and who drink the honey of the Lord's lotus feet. My dear servants, bring to me for punishment only persons who are averse to the taste of that honey, who do not associate with Paramahamsas, and who are attached to family life and worldly enjoyment, which form the path to hell. End translation. In Sri Nrsimha Purana it is stated, translation, Yamaraj said, I have been appointed by Lord Brahma, who is worshipped by the demigods, to judge people's pious and impious activities. I severely punish the worldly fruitive actors who are averse to the spiritual master and Lord Hari, and I offer my obeisances to the Vaishnavas, who have surrendered themselves at the lotus feet of Lord Hari. End translation. Srimad Prabhu Jiva Goswami has quoted the following verse from the Skanda Purana as found in the Amritasara. Translation. Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Agni, Indra, myself, Yamaraj, and other demigods are unable to chastise the broad-minded Vaishnavas. End translation.